Before we get started, I would appreciate if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Now let's check out some websites. So here we have the functionality of the new RTGS service, the Bank of England. Now the Bank of England is upgrading their core RTGS system. And if you go down to settlements, it tells you that the core RTGS system that the Bank of England is upgrading, and I did a video on this too, by the way, check out my video. It's titled The Bank of England, when will they be using a DLT based RTGS system? And I go into more detail in that video. But here it tells you that the Bank of England's RTGS system that they're upgrading to will be able to basically use DLT systems. It will have the capacity to support a diverse range of settlement models, including systems operating on innovative payment technologies. So the Bank of England is basically building an RTGS system that's going to be able to use DLT based systems for settlement. So you can basically use XRP for settlement. Now, why are they going to be incorporating DLT into their RTGS system if DLT has no plans of being adopted? Here we have safeguarding efficiencies of new technologies, why common standards matter. And here it tells you how ISO 20022 can better enable DLT and API technologies of tomorrow. As I was saying, ISO 20022 helps enable DLT solutions. It's interoperable, should I say, and it's flexible enough to be interoperable with DLT-based systems, and it enables it as a solution with banks being on the ISO 20022 standard. Here we have the ISO 24165, which is the digital token identifier. And this digital token identifier basically gives every cryptocurrency its unique identification code, which is registered. So it makes it easy for financial institutions to use digital tokens in the messaging layer. And that's what it basically enables. And this is a good step, because the fact that they're doing this shows you that they're going to be using DLT-based systems and they're going to be using cryptocurrencies. Here we have a Swift update, and in this Swift update, if we go down to page 9, it basically talks about the ISO 24165, and it says, we're going to add support for non-deliverable trades in digital currencies. Digital currencies are identified using the new ISO 24165 identifier in a new field, 35C. You go down to 35C, it talks about digital token identifier, and it has the sample coins. So it has ISO 24165 DTI identifier and optional description, and that's what they're adding support for. So they're adding support for, in the messaging layer, as far as I understand, the ability to incorporate digital tokens in the messaging layer, and obviously the settlement for these tokens will be facilitated by a DLT based RTGS system. They're not going to use correspondent banks to facilitate the settlement of these digital tokens. They're going to be using a DLT based RTGS system. But in the messaging layer, they're going to have unique codes for these cryptocurrencies, and it's going to be unique registered codes, so it differentiates one cryptocurrency from another based upon the unique coding, and then it would enable them to be used and settled via DLT-based RTGS systems. Now, do I think this is happening in November? No. But do I think they're preparing all this now so that when the system does take place, whenever it does, they have all this stuff already prepared? Yes, that's what I think they're doing. That's why they have the ISO 24165 digital token identifier all being released and being there to be added to the messaging layer. Then we have distributed ledger technology on Swift. They talk about it. Swift completes landmark DLT proof of concept. Swift tests show blockchain has potential for global liquidity optimization. 22 additional global banks join the Swift GPI blockchain proof of concept. Swift explores blockchain as part of its global. I mean, why is Swift all over blockchain and DLT? If DLT is not going to be adopted, would they be wasting their time with it? Of course not. So I'm just trying to show you here how we know that it's going to be adopted, why we know it's going to be adopted, because they're telling us Swift and Essential outline paths to distributed ledger technology adoption with financial services. Innovation in the financial system. When you see innovation and you see financial system, they're just talking about DLT. What's the innovation that we have with the financial system today? The only innovation that we have is DLT-based technologies. And let's see if they mention, here you see they mentioned blockchain. Yeah, so they mentioned basically blockchain, which is DLT. Industry collaboration is necessary for successful application of blockchain in securities markets. What blockchain can be used to tokenize securities? We know that already. Ripple can be used to tokenize securities, and it is a derivative platform at the end of the day. We have documents by the FSB talking about enhancing cross-border payments. How can you enhance cross-border payments? The only way to enhance cross-border payments beyond upgrading the messaging standard to ISO 20022, which is what they're already doing, is to move over to a DLT-based RTGS system. Roadmap for enhancing cross-border payments. They've got all these documents. Payment system oversight and interoperability. How are you going to have interoperability between different payment systems? The only way to do that is by a DLT-based RTGS system. So here we have Volante, and as we know, Volante is partnered with loads of banks around the world and corporations, and Volante as well for the cross-border payment section can leverage Ripple. Why would they be doing that if there's XRP is not going to be leveraged? We have the ACI World Wire, ACI and SWIFT. ACI supports around 9% of global SWIFT traffic and approximately 30% in the US. And here it says that ACI also supports real-time schemes around the world, and one of those real-time schemes is a DLT-based RTGS system, Ripple. And then we have more information such as Russian officials approve use of crypto for cross-border payments. Now this is just information that I'm showing you how we know that it's going to be used. So Iran dabbles in crypto for cross-border trade in effort to bypass sanctions. This is how we know cross-border is going to be used, because not cross-borders, crypto, DLT-based systems, DLT-based RTGS systems, Ripple is all going to be used. And we know that as a result of all the documents that are telling us that they're going to be enhancing the cross-border payment system, all the documents that are telling us there's going to be a new digital financial system, all the documents that are telling us that they need to interlink payment systems together, all the documents that are showing us that SWIFT is all over DLT-based RTGS systems, basically. All these partnerships with Ripple, all software companies like Volante, ACI World Wire, all partnering with Ripple. I mean, it's this endless amounts of information showing you that DLT-based systems are going to be adopted. At this stage, there should be no doubt about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so as to not miss my next video.